uncertainty or ambiguity can be overcome by hope of certainty and sure. And so, how to build hope in the heart and minds of the youth is a great challenge. Many institutions, educational institutions and corporate institutions are facing today. And how to make the youth keeping idle at home, see, there's another point, sir, when you told that it is, and whether they are idle, an idle mind is devil's workshop. So unless the youth in this gap, in this time, they don't use it for acquiring more knowledge in silence, in isolation, more of knowledge only is possible. When you build the knowledge, and application will come immediately after Corona is over. So for that, they can get ready. What kind of knowledge, what kind of hope they can nurture in themselves. And will only give hope to a nation and in the large systems, even global organizations, and even families. And I deem it as a great pride and privilege to be with all of you, sir, you eminent leaders of the society. Now you have taken this initiative about youth. So I'm happy.
Very nice, Mr. Ram. You said empty minds is a devil's workshop. But we have a very eminent personality.
Leaders of the society. Now you have taken this initiative about youth. So I'm happy.
Very nice, Mr. Ram. You said empty minds is a devil's workshop. But we have a very eminent personality with us. He is Dr. Santosh Kumar Patnaik, who has, I think some problem is there with his audio. Okay, we will pick
thank
it
you,
up
Mr. Goel.
till that time. Yes.
Well, I always believe in the fact that youth is the age of discovery. I have already crossed my prime as a youth, but I consider myself youthful. Just now, Mr. Ramlingam said, youth represents the agility and the older generation represents the wisdom. I, for one, believe in the fact that there should be always a marriage between the agility and wisdom. The youth should take the lead now because there are plenty of opportunities due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We take it as a crisis situation, but youth can always take it as a situation which is favorable to grab the opportunities. Now, what all opportunities are lying ahead for the youth? Basically, I can just outline three things where the opportunities are in galore for the youth. First, fundamentally, if you look at it, first, they can shape the behavior of their own generation. Second, they can adopt to the norms and values, attitudes, behavior of the older generation because they are full of wisdom. Third, they can always bridge the gap between these two generations. So with these fundamental three opportunities in front of the youth, I'm pretty sure that the Indian youth have got the potential. As you rightly said, the demographic dividend is always in favor of a country like India, and the youth should rise above the occasion to transform these opportunities to the nation building. Now, as Mr. Goel, you rightly said, there's a lot of migration, reverse migration now happening. All the migrant laborers to the extent of nearly 90 lakhs all over the country. Interstate migration is to the extent of 90 lakhs. And other migration, intrastate migration is to the extent of, say, almost like 13 crores. So most of the people are now coming back to the villages. Suddenly we realize that the demography, the urban and rural demography is changing rapidly. And unless this particular issue is addressed by the policymakers of the country, then the country is going to be facing a lot of crisis in future. And I personally feel that here is an opportunity for the youth. They should come out with some ingenious thoughts, how to make a crisis situation to an opportunity and see that the village economy also prospers, not at the cost of urban economy, because both the things should go simultaneously together. So with this thought, I say that we have a long way to go, but youth of India can always take a lead at this stage to guide the nation to take it to a different height altogether.
Very nicely, Dr. Patnaik, you have mentioned how to make this opportunity from this crisis. Yes, one can very well take the advantages, and sometimes it says that blessings in disguise. Now I would like to invite C.A. Valerian D'Almeida, who is I will say Plato has thought of one philosopher king. And I consider him in that way because although he's a chartered accountant by profession, but always thinking of his fire in the belly is to see to it that the villages are to be developed and the migrants or the reverse migration which is taking place, those people should be given the dignity of the life and they should be allowed to work in the villages so that the villages can be developed, and according to him, if the villages will be developed, the country will be developed. So I will now invite C.A. Valerian to give his thoughts about this particular aspect.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lal Goyal. I heard our Sir Dr. Subramania Ram and Dr. Santosh. In order to the youth build India, India first of all should build them. In my opinion, the youth get irritated because they cannot do anything. This is the first question, because irritation goes to their mind, they lose their coolness and they lose their temper. We need to see why this is happening, because the simple reason is in the village, the youth do not get the facilities that they want. So in order to the youth to build India, India has to first build the required facilities. This is why I said today in the morning in a WhatsApp group of Gyan that India has a very strong eye. So to make another eye very strong, we need two more eyes. The first eye that we have a strong eye, I said we have a intelligent, very strong intelligent. The youth, young India has a very intelligent, eye. That is intelligence. The first eye is that intelligence. And to make the second eye, that is India, successful and strong, we need two more eyes. And one of the two more eyes is the internet. And second thing is infrastructure. These two things, if the India, the second eye, can provide these two eyes, I'm sure young India can build the villages. This is for sure. Because today, as far as the numbers that are going, India has pushed back USA in the manufacturing of the smartphones, and it has come to the second place next to China. So this is the smartphone strength of India in the world. And we need to make sure that the youth are trained who are now in the villages. Either they are not in the schools and colleges, but back to the villages. The migrants are back to the villages. I call the migrants are skill set people, and they are back from the. I am also a migrant from India to UAE. So same way, the migrants have gone back from here. Immigrants have gone back here. Within India, the migrants have traveled back to the. So most of them are skilled people, and most of them carry a smartphone. So if these two eyes are provided, because they are walking in their pocket with the king, that is the mobile, and this mobile can work wonders. Though, as I say, the farm and food should be physical, but the work that is taking place in the farm and the food processing production can be carried to the world by these mobile phones in the villages. And that is the beginning of investment by the government, the private sector in the villages. So let's go back to the villages.
Very nicely, you have mentioned CA Valerian about the two eyes. And I'm sure that if we will follow that formula, then the day is not far when India will be back with full bang. Now, Dr. Subramaniam, you have heard almost all the panelists. The thing is that the migrants, because of the reverse migration, the youth are reaching to the villages. Is there any plan of the government or especially the university to give them some vocational training or some training so that they will, because earlier they were working in a metro with some companies or with some industry. Now, once they will reach to the village, because there will be no such type of industry or the companies, if they will be giving some basic ideas to do either their business or some vocational training to start something which they can do and independently, like what CA Valerian has mentioned about the smartphone carrying, everyone is carrying. So then the total scenario will be changed, and those youth can do wonders in rebuilding India. What you say about it?
Yeah, you're 100% right, because the urban poor, homeless and migrant workers are really suffering now because of this kind of situation. Their plight has become nothing but the child of the circumstances. There is no point in beating over a dead body. We have to think what to do and what not to do, and how to make the situation better than ever before. Because sometimes this kind of crisis will also provide us wonderful opportunities to redefine the situation and come out with better solutions. Now these migrant workers have gone back because there is a reverse migration, 100% right. Now what to do? Their skill sets might have become obsolete because they may not find similar kind of opportunities in the rural areas. In that situation, first of all, we must understand and find out what are their needs, wants, preferences, demands, and expectations. That should come first, because context first, then the content. Most of the time, we fail to identify and define the problem. We'll always download solutions after solutions. Then we'll be striking the wrong nail at the right end of the table. Therefore, in order to strike the right nail at the right end of the table, find out what do they want and what are the different techniques, strategies, and processes to rebuild their plight. Then only we can make things happen. Otherwise, we'll be groping in dark, and sometimes we'll become helpless and we'll make others nervous. Therefore, technology, political leadership, government policy, and the execution excellence will matter a lot in this connection. That's what I feel, there are three kinds of problems in this world. Problems with full solution, yes, you can solve it by 100%. Problems with partial solution, because 60% solvable component and the remaining 40% is unsolvable component. We have to understand it and accept it as it is. The third component is problem without a solution. If a problem doesn't offer any solution, to me, it appears that it is not at all a problem. It becomes a condition of our life, and we must know how to live with it. Because Mr. Ram will appreciate in psycho-cybernetics, we tell that when you are not in a position to change the circumstances of the situation, kindly change yourself. Because you are doing a wonderful thing. If nothing happens, still something happens, that is, understand or realize there is one rascal less in this world. Therefore, this should be a real motivation to change ourselves. We may not be in a position to change our wife or our boss or the situation, but still there is every logic or reason to change ourselves, changing our perception, our thought process, our feelings or emotions, our action tendencies, and finally our actions. Therefore, nothing succeeds like success. Never forget, nothing fails like failure. Therefore, we should be doubly cautious, and we should be physically, mentally, intellectually, socially, and spiritually prepared to bring about a meaningful change in ourselves first. Therefore, let us set an example of ourselves, and our Mangalore University is redefining the situation. We are changing our lens, and we are exploring different possibilities to reskill or retrain this kind of youth now, particularly the reverse migration. That's what I feel at this moment, Mr. Lal Goyal.
Thank you very much, Dr. Subramaniam, that you, under your leadership, the Mangalore University is taking a lead to change and to come out with some new giving a new dimensions to the reverse migrants. This will be definitely a welcome move by the entire society. Now, I would like to ask Dr. Patnaik. Dr. Patnaik, you have heard now almost all the panelists, including our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Now, how you think, because you are very clear that if we will take this this opportunity which is there now, but they require a proper direction, they require guidance, they require technical assistance, and definitely the financial assistance. How you think that you will be giving a proper guidelines to the youths of the village so that they can come out successfully and they will turn around? Because we don't want that the bad habits of the city youths should go to the village. Right now, the villagers are very happy. They are very simple persons. They should not get those bad habits which generally the city youths have. So, but for that, we require them to catch hold of them initially, right now, without wasting time. What is your roadmap for that? Dr. Patnaik, please.
Well, I always believe in the fact that the crisis situation can always be turned into an opportunity. And Professor Subramania has rightly said it so. And we can do it by changing our attitude, in our behavior. And we should realign ourselves in such a manner that there should be quick adaptability. This is exactly what is the need of the hour. And as you have said, a lot of reverse migrations has already happened. The villages are flushed with people, but they do not know how to keep themselves engaged with meaningful economic activities. This is where the youth of the country should come forward with their ideas, with their actions, and then make it happen all throughout. Now, let me cite one example which India has achieved it, how India has converted a crisis to an opportunity. Now, you must have all heard that till the end of March, there was zero production of the PPE kits, the ventilators, or say for that matter, the COVID testing kits. Now, within this short period of 1.5 months, less than 1.5 months, India has been able to produce 2 lakh PPE kits, 2 lakh N95 masks, and equally good number of ventilators and other masks, the day-to-day use masks. How has it been made possible? It has all been made possible with the effort of these people of this country. We have turned the crisis into an opportunity by activating our ingenuity. You must have heard that the IIT Kanpur has come out with a with a PPE kit design, and cost is only ₹100, whereas the PPE kits which we are importing from China and which turned out to be a phosphorus, all right, it was costing somewhere around ₹600. Now with this IIT design, there are farms in Meerut, there are farms in Noida, there are farms in MP. They have been able to produce 2 lakhs kits, PPE kits. Can you just believe that within a short time of 1 month, the country has been able to create an opportunity of 7,000 crores in terms of PPE kits, the masks, N95 masks, the ventilators and other things. And India is now in a position to export these things to some of the countries. So this is the real potential, hidden potential of this country, which has to be realized by the youth of this country. And this is where I say the youth should be always in the constant process of learning. And there is only one way to learn, it is through action. And I'm a strong believer of the fact that with this current situation prevailing, the village youth can be empowered. As Professor Subramania has rightly said, he is coming out of with new skills and new skill kits and new techniques, whereas we will be in a position, the country will be in a position to empower the village youth. And I think it will set a new trend. And during COVID-19 and post-COVID-19, the situation is going to dramatically change. And I'm pretty confident with our youth, if we give the right sort of motivation to this youth, they can really do wonders for the country.
So you said that the right motivation is required to the youth of this country. Mr. Ram, now what type of right motivation we should give to the youth so that the youth can turn around and rebuild the India? What is your opinion about that?
Sir, there is one thing that was coming to my mind was a wise man finds opportunity in every problem. And others see problems in the opportunities. See here, so much of time was available to youth for reflection. And what kind of motivation that has happened from the ecology, from outside, is very insignificant. Though some people took the initiative to go online and to talk about that future possibilities. So enough has not been done here. And that is why they got irritated. And of course, some of them are working from their homes, and it is not as satisfying as it is giving them happy when they are working in the space, in the practice, in the respective place. And some of the organizations like TVS, some of the youngsters, particularly at the senior management, senior managers and below level, some problems relating to health, problem relating to some learning have been organized online. Some institutions like Bharatdasan Institute of Management also are done, but not enough has been done. That is my opinion. Some of the companies are now preparing, and yesterday's paper, Deccan Herald states, they are focusing more on the mind-related or motivation-related or hope-related programs than technical technical programs. And one thing that is also very important is the 5 I's which you are told. One of it all came from the irritation. That was the first I. And of course, India is environment. That is the source of problem as well as the source of resources, both. And you see here, you're talking about the smartphones, and phones may be smart, but how do we use people smart? That is something. And to make them smart is developing their soft skills, not only technical skills. Technically, we are a sound country. And actually, Pondicherry University, when there was an interface with the MBA students, I was sitting in a panel, And you see, the simple thing, one girl was raising the hand and told when clarification was sought, what is employability? And we are organization, we are TCS manager was there, TCS general manager was there. And he was raising the question of employability. Then that girl was raising the hand. The employability comes from what soft skill we add to our technical knowledge. That's what it is. Soft skill means making your mind, both a conscious mind and an unconscious mind, towards a meaningful purpose and focusing on the outcome and goal and how to make it happen even in a remote communication possibilities, online possibilities, it may be possible. Some attempts are being done. Okay, some initiatives are being taken by some groups. It is a part of professional work also. They are doing it. And you can do the motivation is not only money now. The motivation comes about the future possibilities. Motivation comes from learning new spheres. So far they were doing the work and coming back, and now they need to have something more about it. Compassion has become very important learning input for youth, particularly. The migrant laborers came from poverty. They came because of poverty. And now they are going, reverse migration is taking place also because of poverty. And you see, if they are not able to find the solution, it's a big danger for the ecology and the life. So people who have shall think of sharing and caring. That is the time now. And youth may be also involved in this kind of work. In addition to whatever possibilities, because they are agile, they can be active, they can reach out to the poor and they can show their concerns to them and encourage them. And I hope that agriculturists are going to save all of us. And rural India is going to take care of us now. The fancy of urban India has okay, now almost it has become, see now, who will feed us is the more important problem now. And you see, we may be having, but we are unable to reach out. Agriculture are producing and they are having it in many places I am seeing. And in TV, when I say, actually, I come from an agriculturist family from a rural area. So much is wasted. So in those areas, how to organize youth as group and how the compassion and caring, part of caring for society and large system concerns, somehow it has to be inculcated. And most important thing is attitude. And where some industry possibly being educationists like Dr. Subramaniam can also think about it, and a lot of possibilities he will create. Such people who are in the field of learning will create. I hope that it will happen.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ram, for giving the formula sharing and caring. Now, C.A. Valerian, you have heard the views of Dr. P. Subramaniam, Dr. Patnaik, Mr. Ram. Our emphasis is now the reverse migrants and especially the youth, because once they will reach to the village, they require something to do immediately. And as you being a chartered accountant, you know finance and economics well, that today the condition is they are jobless. And whatsoever savings they have done, either they have spent in reaching to their village. Yesterday there was a report in the TV channel that one youth has purchased, he has spent 4,000 rupees to purchase a cycle, and it will take 8 days to reach to his native place. So you can imagine the situation, whatsoever they have saved, they have already exhausted. So at this situation, how you think the youth can be done by microfinancing or whatsoever the things which you, so that they will be persuaded to rebuild India. But first we have to see that they should be given the feed, or we have to feed them properly. Intellectually, yes, the training, yes, everyone is ready to give, but unless the pocket is not with the money, they will not be able to grasp anything. So what is your take about it?
Yeah, Mr. Lal Goyal, you call me economist. Somebody asked me, Mr. Valerian, are you an economist? I said, yes, I am not an economist, but I am a social economist. So we need to change the focus to social economy. So the first thing what I feel is the migrant workers who are in the villages now, they need something in their pocket immediately. So who can provide that? The provision of this, what they want. So it's only possible if the government, the corporates, and all the community, if they, contribute for that, we can kickstart. This is one thing. So how it has to be done? Because everybody has got Jan Dhan accounts. Everybody has got Aadhaar cards. So based on the Aadhaar cards, Jan Dhan accounts, transfer money to them. Simple, it is very simple. I was banging from last 2 months that the government has to print the money. There is no alternative. Forget about inflation and GDP, falling and all those things. Everybody is in the same basket, or everybody is in the same, whatever that you call. So all countries are same today. So there is no other go but to print the notes. Forget about the inflation and GDP falling and all those things. Forget. This is the immediate thing, and transfer money immediately to everyone who are in the villages right now through the Jan Dhan accounts, through the, forget about it. So this is the first thing, is survival for them for at least a month. And during that period of 1 month, I will urge our Honorable Vice Chancellor, how our students can move to the villages and train the villagers. First thing is, as the Honorable Vice Chancellor said, that the want, because the want is very important. What they need is very important. And for this, only the youth, the students or the young community, they can move to the villages and understand what is their need, what do they want. And once the want is known, as again Vice Chancellor said, or there is a saying, change is constant. Change is constant. Okay. So everything is, change is constant. So we need to change, and change in them can be brought through understanding their want and then training them. I agree with the, regarding the soft skills, because they need to be trained on they have the skill set, but they need to be trained on the soft skills. They have brought in, as Lal Goyal said, they have brought in baggage. So we need to tell them, this baggage that you have brought from other than the skill sets, that you have to leave it behind. And they need to understand that with their skill sets, how the villages can be improved or how the villages can be changed. They have to change themselves through training, through soft skills, how their skills can be converted in improving the villages. And for this, once the training is done, they understand the soft skills. Once they understand that they have to leave the baggage behind, then comes the microfinancing. Then comes the banking sector or the private entrepreneurs pushing the money into the hands of people for the development. I am not saying the development of in the villages you go and build buildings. No, we need to give in money so that they can develop their skill sets. A painter can set up a painting workshop. A plumber can start a plumber workshop. An electrician can start a electrical workshop and a small electrical. I mean, there are plenty of opportunities which will make them to be in the villages and see how they can, even the farming and the food growing can be funded by the banks. Today, what I am saying is, even the banks don't want to invest in people. There is a trust of deficit of the banks on the people. People who are hardworking, they are the ones who pay back the money. If they are provided with some funds of 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, they are the ones who will earn and pay back, and they know the value of money. Only thing is, they need the training that how they can improve themselves and their self-respect. So this is what is required immediately, because all the communities, the corporates, the colleges, they need to jump in. We can't wait for the government to do something. We need to jump in, and we need to see how we can do or change the villages. And the change in the villages should be done even by the NRIs. Once this is done, the NRIs of that village should come forward to support the villagers in the work they are doing, in the skill sets that they have. If there is a doctor in the village, okay, and there are few nursing staff, they should be funded by the NRIs of that village, so that they can start a small clinic of 5 beds, 6 beds. The banks should move in with their extension counters to the villages. These things should happen. It should be the epicenter should be the village. The media should move zoom their lenses to the villages, because the village is the epicenter now. Because that is where the things will happen, things will change. And as Ram said, they are going to feed the urban people. They are going to feed the entire agriculture should be revamped through the people who know how to do the agriculture, and they should be provided funds. The small self-help groups, microfinancing should come up in the villages. So this is what my thoughts are. And once these happen, the change will be there. Thank you.
The change will be there. Very nicely you have mentioned, C.A. Valerian. Now, in the end of the program, I would like Dr. Subramaniam, your message to the youth. Please give the message so that the youth will be motivated to rebuild India.
Yeah, this COVID-19, has created a situation where we should understand the 3 important R's: relief for the vulnerable, recovery of the economy, and reform of the financial system. All said and done, every rural youth or urban youth must understand what I am and what I am up to, what I am expected to do, and I must rise to the occasion and discharge my duties, responsibilities, and obligations in the highest order. So that should be the situation. And from that point of view, rural youth or anybody should understand, because our university has come out with a new slogan: take the university to the village. It means university should understand the problems, difficulties, and challenges of the urban poor, homeless, and migrant workers, the farmers, and others in the rural area. And similarly, the rural people can come to the university and understand in what way university can play a bigger role. It means everybody should nurture certain important values like compassion, commitment, citizenship, honesty, humility, humor, accountability, adaptability, altruistic behavior, relationships, reliability, and being a role model. And as Ram rightly pointed out, we should take care of our attitude and behavior. We should be affable, and agility should be there, and we should demonstrate the courage, confidence, and conviction to make things happen today, and the trustworthiness and being tolerant and time-tested virtues will play a significant role today, then definitely the ethical values, empathy, and excellence must be demonstrated at a higher price. And finally, what matters is our reputation, responsibility, and the mutual respect, identity of interest, and shared idea, and the determination to excel. Then definitely the better days are ahead. We need not panic, and definitely we can do certain things in a very meaningful and effective manner, Mr. Lal Goyal.
Determination to excel. Very nicely you have mentioned, and I'm sure the youths who are listening to you or watching you will definitely take advantage and will be very happy to note all the thoughts what you have given. Now, I will come to Mr. Ram. Your message to the youth.
Message very nicely consolidated by Dr. Subramania. And you see, from where we have come, some reverse migration in terms of our attitude should happen. When we came from rural area to metro areas, now our mind should go to the rural areas. And that concern. Because in rural area, everyone is self-employed. Every agriculturist is self-employed. Every rural engineer like carpenter, they are all self-made technical people. And they have to be now focused. This is something very nicely. And how these youth, particularly from universities, college, other places, wherever youth, not only youth, others also, self-focus on rural development. This is one thing. One wonderful point Valerian was saying as a social economist, and see, inflation is the source of building the economy. That has been used, and so same thing now. Print the notes and give to them. And it appeals to me. And also, last but not the least, and some of the government policies should be very carefully driven in terms of social impact, domestic impact, etc. And I'm also referring, there are many things maybe, but one thing that is coming is these liquor shops. I wanted to mention that at this point of time. And some policies also, if government properly drives and properly organizes, so certainly we are going to be out of COVID-19. And I have been very happy to be part of this deliberation. And certainly some wonderful initiatives are going to come from youth, because already we are making efforts to sow the seeds in their minds. Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. If the government will drive, organize proper policies, then definitely we'll come out from this problem. Very good message from you. Now, Dr. Patnaik, what message you would like to give to youth?
Yes, my message is very simple. Let the youth get tuned to a program called C3 Triple Plus. I think it's a catchy word for this today's discussion. The C++ means the building of character, showing the commitment, and excelling in your competence. And who all should come forward to help the youth in this direction? The colleges, the universities, the corporates, and the communities at large. Now, what should be the role of the government at this stage? Yes, government should not involve in many things, but government should focus on the policy development and policy implementation. Now, as Mr. Valerian says, since the focus is going to be develop the village economy, let the government be a facilitator to create ample of micro activities, and let there be a platform to train the village youth by these colleges, the corporates, and the communities. And then finally, For everything you require the money, and money, this different versions are there, how to create money through printing of notes, through getting loans, borrowings, all those things. But I have only simple thing, whatever may be the source, the channel should be very simple, and it should be the microfinance. The microfinance of the best needs to be strengthened. The credit facilities should be given to the micro entrepreneurs for carrying out the various micro activities at an affordable interest rate. The rate, today's interest rate is very high. Sometimes it goes over 20%. So it's not affordable for the villagers to take the facility to their, to their business purpose. But the government should come forward to ease the credit facility so that
to the government. Now, last but not the least, CA Valerian, we would like to have your views, please. A message to the youth, please.
Yeah, I would like to say to the youth that I am a 16 plus young guy. Okay, so my message to them is be steady and concentrate and improve what you are doing. You don't have to worry for the funding where it is coming from. You need to work and put pressure on the people who are supposed to assist you or fund you. This should be the attitude. Let the people, when we create pressure, then automatically the pressure will, will yield results. This is what I believe in. So youth has a power through their skill. When you understand the training is given, everything is done, then you can create pressure so that the facilitator will come to you. This is the first thing. Second thing, the facilitator, I mean the government, if they can give the PLI, that is production linked incentive for the manufacturing of smartphones in India. So what I urge the facilitator, I mean the government, to give the production linked incentive to the youth who are engaged in the village rural sector. Rural sector can be developed by the PLI schemes, because if the government can earmark about 8,000 crores for the smartphone manufacturing, they have to double it or make it 3 times to give the PLI to the village youth for the development of the villages with their skills, with the farming knowledge, with the land that they have, which they can convert into gold mine. So this is what my message to the youth. Youth should, through their skills, through their farming skills, whatever it is which can be done in the villages, through that they have to create pressure, and this pressure has to yield results by the government putting PLIs to the villages.
Thank you, CA Valerian. So the youth is the key. They have the guts, they have the sources, they can do many things if they are guided properly. So today you have seen the eminent personalities have given their views about the role of youth to rebuild India. This program is live telecasted on P4 News, News Karnataka, Global TV, Malnadu TV, also on Facebook and YouTube. And this program was brought to you by Gyan and Organ Donation India Foundation. I once again thank you all for giving such type of inspiring words, and I am sure that these inspiring words will definitely make a change, and that change we require in this present scenario, so that proudly we can say that we can say goodbye to COVID-19 as early as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you.